Jack, welcome to the Personal Best podcast.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? Your first podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I'm very excited. I was a bit nervous, but I'm ready for it.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm ready.
That's fine. Because full transparency, I saw that you posted on your Instagram saying that you wanted to do some sort of podcast so that your followers could get to know you a bit more. And obviously I reached out to you because I've been seeing your journey online for quite a while. And I think we'll just use this opportunity as an opportunity for people to like get to know you a bit more, kind of learn about your journey, maybe from the things that they don't see on social media. So I'm going to ask a pretty basic question to get into it. So let's do a little personal intro. How did Jack Hallis become Jacksfit?
That's a good question. I mean, before I started social media, the day I started working out,
Okay.
and before that, I was in college, a very shy individual. I mean, I'm naturally very shy. Didn't have much confidence, and was very skinny. And that's what kind of got me into the gym.
Yeah.
And from there, I just love going to the gym. I went once, and I just kept going back, and it kind of became a routine. And it's definitely built my confidence a lot.
Yeah.
I would say, like, doing things like this, collaborating with other people, coming on a podcast, I would have never done anything like this. And it's just really helped improve my confidence.
Yeah, which is amazing. And we'll get into all of that. But I think that's really interesting that you decided to start social media as you started your fitness journey, because a lot of people have, already gone through their fitness journey, built a crazy physique, and then they decide to start posting on social media. But I think what's really unique about you is that people are following your journey from day one. But because you're quite young, right?
18,
18?
yeah.
Only
Yeah.
18 years old. So what were you doing before social media? Like college? Did you have any other hobbies? Were you into sport or anything?
So before social media, I went, I finished school, did a year of college, doing like electrical, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I kind of went down the kind of trades route, wanting to become like an electrician. I did a year, and then it was 2 years because it's level 1 and level 2. Started the second year, and then I just started posting on social media, and it kind of blew up the day I started college.
Right.
And it got to a point where I couldn't walk around college without getting recognised,
Really?
which kind of affected my studies. It was where like I would just fall asleep in class like every day. I'd get no sleep because I'd be like focused with my social media because it was just taking off.
Right.
And I probably dropped out when I had about 60,000 followers. And I dropped out in December.
Okay.
And I've just been pursuing social media, trying to collaborate with more people, like-minded
Yeah.
individuals, and just working on my physique really.
Of course.
It's definitely boosted my confidence a lot. That's for sure.
Yeah, which is amazing. But when you were getting recognized at college, were people, coming up to you and like praising you, or was it more like negative feedback? Because I had
Yeah.
James Beardwell on the podcast, who you know very well, and during his time at Loughborough Uni, he started to get recognized by people, but actually faced quite a lot of criticism because people were like, "Oh, you're just the TikTok boy. Like, why are you posting? It's embarrassing." Like, was that the same as your experience?
I think the college I went to, it was quite, let's just say, rough.
Okay.
And there was a lot of if you're going into trades, you'll know like a lot of tradespeople, they're quite like tough, they're quite rough. So there was a lot of people like they'd like call my name from like quite far away. They'd just be like whispering. But I did get like a few people come up to me and say, I rate what you're doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's an inspiration. But at that point, it was all a bit new for me. I didn't expect like to post on social media for people to actually like recognize me in real life. Um, and it was just the first time it happened. I was in the gym. I must have had like 7,000 followers or something. And he was like, "Are you Jacksfit?" And I was like, "No way, people recognize me in my home gym."
Yeah.
Um,
Must be
it's
quite
it's
surreal for
crazy.
you as well,
Yeah.
especially from, being quite a shy kid and
Mm.
now having strangers come up to you and
Yeah,
recognize you from socials.
it was very hard for me because at that point I was still very shy. Um,
Mm.
I mean, just talking to a lot of people has definitely um, made me like open up a bit more. And yeah, I'm still quite shy. I'm
Yeah.
still naturally shy, but it's helped.
Well, yeah, we all
It's
have
helped
like
a lot.
different personalities, don't we? And
Mm,
some people are more introverted and some people are more extroverted, but you're never gonna step away from that shy character if you don't, put yourself out there and talk to people
mm,
and meet people, which is exactly what you're doing. And we'll definitely get onto all of that. But I'm quite interested to know sort of what the trajectory of your social media journey was like. Like you say, you started training, you started posting on social media. How quick was
mm,
your growth? Because you've got a lot of followers
mm,
now.
yeah. Um, so literally the first day, it was September the 1st, so it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
That was the first time I started working out. Literally just
Last year,
September
2023.
2023. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
First time I started working out, literally just in my bedroom, lifting 2 kilogram weights
Mm.
because that's all I had at the time. And then the next day went from zero followers to 200, and then the next day went from 200 followers to 2,000, and then in the space of about a month, I got up to like 20,000
In a
in like a
month.
few weeks, maybe like 2 or
Wow.
3 weeks.
How did you feel like as the followers were growing? Was that
Mm.
exciting for you?
Yeah, I've been doing social media for a long time, but not like gym content. So I've been mainly YouTube,
Okay.
but it's kind of like random videos, Fortnite, Minecraft,
Gaming
um,
stuff.
yeah, just teenage things really.
Mm.
And I've seen a bit of success with YouTube in the past. Been doing that for 9 years. Since
9 years.
I was in year 5 in school.
Wow.
And that kind of, to see the success, it kind of brings me back to that, thinking I've been manifesting this for a long time, but I never knew it would be, I would be doing gym content of all things, because
Yeah.
I was always in my bedroom just playing games 5 hours a day. But it's just crazy the growth I've
Yeah.
had.
Well, it really is. And Joe Fazer, right? Like that's
Mm,
kind of similar to him that he was doing YouTube videos, like doing magic tricks and the
yeah.
random funny videos. And then it's actually the fitness stuff that's really taken off. And
Mm,
it's funny how your journey kind of matches that. But why did you start working out? Obviously, you say you're in your bedroom just
mm.
lifting the 2 kg dumbbells. Like, why did you decide to do that?
Um, this is something I've never spoke about. I was speaking to a girl for basically the whole of the summer, and things just didn't work out.
Right.
Um, and I just felt like really like the lowest I've been before starting the
Mm.
gym. I just felt really low, really demotivated. I I'd go to college 2 days a week, so the other 5 days I'd literally be in my room for like 7, 8 hours a day, just laying there. And then I just thought, you know what, I need to get up. I had these two kilogram dumbbells that I maybe had got for Christmas or something.
Yeah.
And I just set up my phone facing my door and just started lifting the weights. I had no clue what I was doing, but I think that's what's good about the journey.
Yeah.
Learning, I had to learn from absolutely scratch, from the basics. I had to learn everything. I didn't know anything about any of the machines, anything like that, and I just had to learn it all really.
Yeah. I mean, that's really interesting. And like, thank you for sharing that because,
Mm,
yeah, not everybody is going to know like exactly the journey that you've been on. And I think it's
mm,
interesting. And a lot of people will relate to that. I mean, I think a lot of heartbroken people spend time in the gym because it's
yeah,
such a good
yeah.
outlet because you're working on yourself, you're improving yourself.
Mm,
But was there like a catalyst that started that? Like you say, you just wanted to, get up and start training? Like, was there a
mm.
specific thing? Or you just thought, I'm just done with like this lifestyle of,
Yeah, I think
like you say, college and then not much else?
I didn't. Looking back at old photos, I didn't realize how bad it was. I was seriously, my diet was not where it should have been, especially because I'm quite tall.
Mm,
Um, I was, well, severely underweight.
mm,
49 kg for 6'1". That's not ideal.
no.
But I just couldn't see it. But looking back at it, it's yeah crazy how far I've come. Um, yeah, and yeah, a lot of the time people would say things like you're skinny. Yeah, and
Mm,
that's what kind of motivated me to think, do I want to spend the rest of my life just being skinny, um, hiding away, being that
yeah.
shy individual? It's not really, at the end of the day, just going down the trade route. And do I want to be that, or do I want to make a change? That's
Yeah.
the
But
that's
that's
what
really
started.
interesting, right? Because I think a lot of people
Mm,
will get to that point on whatever journey it is they're on.
mm,
And that's sort of the two paths that you could have gone down, is just staying the same and
yeah.
sticking with the same routine and not being maybe that confident and happy, or
Mm,
you actually do something about it and you have done that. And I think that's so great and that you should be really proud of
mm,
yourself for that.
thank you.
But obviously, you started training. When did you make the transition from like training in your bedroom to joining the gym? And was
Mm,
that quite daunting at the start?
yeah. So I worked out for a week, and then basically a week after I started working out, I got a gym membership.
Okay.
But my appearance wasn't there, so my confidence has grown, and I try to take care of my appearance now. Whereas before, I had crazy hair, facial hair,
Mm,
and now I try to keep myself looking tidy.
yeah.
And really, yeah,
But what was it
yeah.
like starting out in the gym? Did you
Mm,
feel like you knew what you were doing at that point?
no,
No?
I had no clue. No.
And how have you learned like what
Mm.
to do? How have you improved your training and diet and all of that?
Maybe about a month after I started training, I got a PT at my gym. He really helped. I had it once a week,
Yeah.
where he would show me some of the machines, show me correct form, um, show me foods I should be eating to improve my diet, and I think that really helped. I had him for about 2 months, and then after that, I've kind of been on my own journey,
Mm.
where I know a bit about the gym. Where yeah,
You know enough,
mm,
right, to
yeah,
like show up and do a workout. And I think
mm,
when you get to that point, it's really good because it kind of takes the anxiety away a bit. But obviously, there's still so much to learn. I've still got so much to learn. Like, I love going to the gym with people who know more than me because they'll show me what to do. And I think
mm,
everybody's
yeah,
on that journey, which people relate to. But I know you've said in some of your content that like the gym has changed your life.
mm, yeah.
In what ways? What do you mean by that?
Um, it's definitely well, I never thought I'd be doing this as a job, so to speak.
Mm.
Um, the sponsors have definitely helped a lot. Shout out to My Protein.
Yes, my pleasure.
Um, but yeah, I never thought it could get to this level where I'm inspiring others. And it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good answer, and I mean it's difficult to like pinpoint, right? Because
Yeah.
especially because your growth and your journey has happened so quickly, it must take a while to like adjust to this new life that you've sort of created for yourself. But I want to talk a bit about like the social media side of things, because as we sit here today, you're on like 250K on Instagram,
Yeah.
over 300K on TikTok.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who are following your journey and who like engage with your content. But why do you think your social media has blown up the way it has?
I think the way I portray myself on social media is something that's not really been done before. You see all these like massive people that have been working out for years, but you don't see all the training behind it, like from the start of their journey. Yeah, I kind of relate a lot to Joe.
Yeah.
He's he says he sees a lot of him in me, and we kind of he started skinny and bulking up, and that's kind of the journey that I'm on at the minute. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But how do you deal with some of the like negative comments that you get? Because
Yeah.
unfortunately, not everybody is kind online. How have you learned to deal with that? Have you had to grow quite a thick skin, would you say?
It got it did get to me a few
Yeah.
times. A few times it got to me where I'd just be scrolling through the comments and I'd see loads of horrible comments, and I'd literally just lay there thinking, am I really that bad of a person where to get this much hate? And then I just go back to the gym. I feel like the gym always solves your problems. And then I've just come to realize that no matter what you do, there's always going to be someone that's either jealous or just that just doesn't like you, and you just have to be yourself. That's honestly what it is.
That's a really good piece of advice, though. And it's, to be honest, something I've had to come to learn as well. Like, definitely think I've got people pleasing tendencies. And once you accept that not everyone's going to like you and that's okay, it's quite liberating because you stop trying to please everyone around you. And, I understand that some people want to help you on your journey, and maybe their advice can come across as like criticism. But there are also people that just leave hate comments because they've got nothing better to do with their time. And I think that's quite sad, to be honest, that someone's taken time out of their day to hate on other people's videos. And for someone like yourself who's actively trying to work on themselves, I don't think you can hate on that.
Yeah. I mean, I do get a mixture of comments, people trying to help me, where it may come across a bit criticism, but one comment that does come to mind is when I did a video with George Porritt, and I went for a new squat PR, and you can clearly see in the video I just don't hit the correct depth.
Right.
And then Dave Trains left a comment saying, you can't count that as a PR, the depth isn't there. And I took that on board, and I've been working on my depth a lot more. I hit a PR just the other day with Nathaniel Messiah. He's been
I saw,
he's been teaching me the form, and I've definitely took some advice on board.
Yeah, because I've seen that you've collabed with quite a few people in the industry, a few who've been on this podcast, like Joe Fazer, as we've mentioned, James Beardwell, Nathaniel, like you say. So what's it been like meeting these people, and how have they helped you on your journey so far?
I think they all, everyone's different really. They all I'm not really sure, to be honest.
No? Were they
It's
people that
hard,
you
yeah.
already followed or looked up to?
When I started the gym, I didn't really know anyone in this space, so I had to kind of learn about people. But
Mm.
yeah, I definitely looked up to a lot of them.
Mm.
They've definitely been big inspirations for me.
But I think what's so nice about like the fitness community in general is that everybody just wants to see each other win. And I
Yeah,
get that, you know, there might be a bit of competition between gym bros, but on the
yeah,
whole, it's such a welcoming space. And
yeah,
it's something I really believe that it's not embarrassing to be seen trying. You should never feel embarrassed to try something new, like going to the gym. And in your case, being a skinnier guy who wants to bulk up. People who are genuine are only going to see that as like a good thing, and they're going to want to help you on your journey. And I think for anybody that maybe feels a bit nervous about stepping foot in the gym or going to a run club or something, they should just know that on the whole, it's such a welcoming community and that
yeah,
anyone can be a part of it.
yeah. I've definitely noticed that it's they're very inclusive, um, and it's very friendly,
Yeah.
very friendly space. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you've been on this fitness journey for a while. Um, like what have you learned so far? Like what's your gym routine looking like? How's your diet changed? Like what have you learned? What advice could you give to people?
Yeah. So when I started the gym, it was a bit all over the place. I'd maybe go a few days here and there. Whereas now well, my routine's not quite there. It's getting there.
Okay.
But I try and train about 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of different splits you can do. I do push pull legs, just so then I can target certain muscle groups.
Yeah.
And diet wise, I've definitely seen a big change. I'm eating a lot more. It's really hard for me because I just can't eat in quantity. I just get full often, but I've definitely been trying to eat a lot more. Definitely been tracking the calories. Um, yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
change.
Because that is something that I think people might not realize or maybe don't understand is, you know, people who love food like myself. It's like, what do you mean you can't eat more? But, you know, if you have a smaller appetite, it is quite difficult.
Yeah.
Like, has that been a struggle for you and
Mm.
on this bulking journey?
Yeah, I used to not eat that much.
Yeah.
Maybe like, well, maybe like one meal a day, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Well, in school, yes, because I wouldn't have breakfast, and then for lunch, sometimes I'd have lunch, but I'd just be playing out all the time, and then I'd just have a big meal when I got home. And it's a massive change to go from not eating that much to eating like 4 or 5 meals a day.
Yeah, like actively trying to eat more.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's out yet, but I know you were doing a 10,000 calorie challenge, right? With
Yeah.
James Beardwell.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Not the best.
DNF.
James hit 10,000, yeah.
Yeah.
But I only got to about 4,000.
Okay.
He got to about 11:30, half an hour before the challenge finished, and I thought, what would be the best way to get calories in? Big bowl of Cocoa
I
Pops.
saw a whole pack of Cocoa
And
Pops.
maybe I had like 3 or 4 spoonfuls, and I was just full.
Oh no. Okay, we'll need a round 2 of that, I think.
Yeah.
But as we said at the beginning, like I want to use this podcast as an opportunity for people to get to know you a bit more and stuff. For someone that's, you know, looking at your social media content, maybe they get an idea of who you are, but at the end of the day, like that's only like the surface. People don't really see below that.
Yeah.
So might be a difficult one to answer, but what do you think are some misconceptions that people might have about you?
I think people can be quite quick to judge, especially when they're only seeing maybe like a 30-second video of your life. They're not seeing the behind the scenes, how much effort you have to put in behind the scenes, especially even just with like diet and training. Sometimes I just won't film won't film in the gym. I'll just go to the gym, train hard. Like, but people don't see that. They'll only see the videos that you put out.
Yeah.
And people will be quite quick to judge.
Yeah. And how do you deal with that when people maybe leave comments and, you know, criticize you, but like only you know the work that you're putting in?
Yeah.
Do you use that as like a driver?
I feel like, yeah, especially when I literally just go to the gym just to do a workout, not to do any content, just to clear my mind, get in the right space, do a workout. I feel like, yeah, I'm definitely putting in the work, even if other people think differently.
Yeah, because I've heard you say as well on socials that people don't want to see the underdog win. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I feel like to some level that is true. Because there was some drama on TikTok maybe about a month ago where people would post their physique and then the next photo would be me saying, how is this guy sponsored but not this guy? And then you'd have someone like lifting really heavy and then there'd just be me. Yeah. And I feel like, yeah, people don't they don't see that I'm inspiring other people. They just think if you have an amazing physique, they should be sponsored. But
this is really interesting. It's actually something I spoke about with Sam Williams on the podcast before, is that there are people, I also think about Sam Goatlifter's brother, Jack McCarthy.
yeah.
And, you know, he's younger, he's a kid starting out in the gym, and he's sponsored and people are questioning it and asking why. But it's not always the people who've got the best physiques. A good physique doesn't guarantee you brand sponsorship because it's about building a social presence for yourself, right? And building a community. And I feel like that's what you're doing. So it shouldn't just be the people that, you know, are in insane shape. I think that's unfair for people to say.
I think it's building a kind of story to go with your content. Like Jack, for example, he's quite young, and you don't really see that often. Young guys going to the gym, and he's been putting in a lot of effort, and he's still in school. So imagine him in a few years. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's exactly what we said at the beginning, that I think that's also something that's unique about your journey, is that you've documented it from day one. And I think people who are critical of that, and, you know, you'd probably say you're not where you want to be on your fitness journey yet. But I think it's actually really inspiring to share your journey and your progress with people, because there will be people who relate to you and can see themselves in you, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to relate to these people who are already at like the top of their game because it feels so out of reach.
Yeah, totally. I've had that in the gym quite a few times. People come up to me in the gym and say, "Wow, you're a big inspiration. I'm naturally skinny just like you," and it kind of does put it into perspective. Like people can relate to my journey.
So I want to talk a little bit on just before we round up, like how your confidence has grown on this journey. As you said, like finding the gym and growing on social media has really helped boost your confidence. Like, what's that change been like, I guess, from a kid who was quite shy in school and college to how you are now?
Yeah, it's night and day, honestly. From being in school, probably not too social in school, maybe a bit of a nerd, because I wasn't really into sports growing up. I did do basketball a bit, but that's about it, because I'm tall. But it is night and day, honestly. My confidence has grown so much. I'd never think I'd do something like this.
The personal best podcast. But what advice would you give to other people that maybe want to improve their confidence or be more social, that kind of thing?
I just think you just have to go for it. Like, just don't hold back. I feel like I was holding back a lot, being shy, nervous, anxious, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah.
Just don't hold back. Show the true me,
Yeah.
and just see where it goes.
Exactly. Well, that's all you can do is show up as yourself. And it's take it or leave it at the end of the day. Like we say, not everyone's going to be your best friend, and that's fine. But if you never put yourself out there and meet people and, you know, show them your personality, then you'll never know. But for you moving forward, what are some future goals that you have? What's next?
I have been enjoying doing like deadlifts recently, especially when I go to the events. I hit 3 PRs in one day.
Yeah.
And it's just opened my eyes a bit. Like, who knows? Maybe I'll start doing powerlifting. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Nathaniel Messiah, watch out. Jacksfit is coming. I love that. Well, thank you so much. And if people want to follow you online, where can they find you?
It should just be Jacksfit on all social media.
On Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, a bit
Amazing.
of YouTube, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And honestly, all the best on your journey. I think you've come a really long way in such a short amount of time. And I think it's really good for people to, you know, hear about where you started and sort of how you've managed to improve both your like confidence and also like the progress that you've made in the gym. I think it's really good for people to like see that journey, and thanks for telling me more about it today. It's been great.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you everybody for listening.